Are you seeking a better way to accelerate your sales, to scale your business, to live a life with no limits? Accelerate Sales Podcast features global experts who have cracked the code to recurring revenues with proven sales systems and get you on the fast track to scaling. Now let's accelerate your sales with today's episode.
Hello to the Accelerate Sales Solo podcast, episode number 356. Today's topic is, what is your end in mind? You will learn three key things. One, what I started with and where I am now in my journey in the end in mind. Some ways to figure it out yourself, and also why is it really important? So if it's your first time, welcome. And if you love what you hear, please subscribe. If you're a regular, really appreciate your support. I love those iTunes reviews. So if you haven't done one as yet, please go and do one. It means so much to me. Please check out past shows on your favorite platform. Just search Accelerate Sales, and why not check out the interview shows as well. Some wonderful world experts that I talk to. They're about 30 minutes to 40 minutes long. Well worth checking out. So I left Coca-Cola in 2011 to be an executive coach. I did all my formal qualifications and was working with blue chip brands and some amazing people, lovely people. But I realized that it just wasn't me. I was a much better mentor than I was a coach. And the way that I defined it was, coach believes that the answers lie within the coachee, and therefore your job is to draw them out. Whereas I was just too impatient. I had so much experience from Coca-Cola and, my own personal development that I just wanted to give the answers. So anyway, I went and started a outsourcing business, and then I found a platform to run it, and I fell in love with the platform, which led me to a partnership with Scott Gallantly. I hired a mentor, and he was a founder mentor. He was famous for setting up like Silicon Valley type business models around the world. And, I absolutely loved him. He was a very intelligent guy. But what he said is that, look, I don't think your aspirations are actually aligned to your capability. And I said, well, what do you mean? Like, I took it as an insult that, I wasn't smart enough. And to be honest, I probably wasn't to build a $100 or a $1 billion business. But he said, look, this is my version of what I've experienced in Silicon Valley, because he'd had a successful exit. And he said, there's a lot that comes with it. And I personally think you're a family guy and you're not willing to sacrifice what it takes to get to that level. So to be honest, I thought, you know what, he's right. Okay, and I spoke to my wife, I spoke to other people about it, and I moved the goalpost. So then we decided to double down on scaling our technology business instead. And we ran it, and it was fantastic. We had a very successful exit in 2019 to a Google partner. So now I mentor tech consultants and also SaaS partners to live a life with no limits. My number one goal is to protect my family and my health. That's what's most important to me, not building the next SaaS platform that's going to be $100 million or, like I said, $1 billion business. I'm willing to work enough hours to pull cash out of the business and put into some smart investments. So if anything should happen with my transplant or my health, I'm protecting my family. And, will I grow and sell another business? Probably not, but I'm comfortable with that, right? Because I know what the end in mind has changed quite a bit from when I left corporate in 2011, but I'm really happy with it. And before I go into some ways that it might help you to work out what your end in mind is, I'd like to talk to you about Book Like a Boss, which is Blab, B-L-A-B. Most of you would have used a scheduler before, probably Calendly, Acuity, etc. But I want to give you a couple of reasons why I chose to switch over to Blab. One was that the Google and Zoom integrations are just beautiful. The second is that you can get your clients to pay or book and then pay on the platform, which is fantastic. It's also got a built-in landing page builder, so you don't need to pay additional software for others. It allows you to have embedded videos, and also it's got a great place to put all of your testimonials. But don't take it just from me. Why not check it out for yourself? Go to paulhigginsmentoring.com/blab. So that's paulhigginsmentoring.com/blab, B-L-A-B. So how to figure it out, and this is once again taking from my learnings, but what I've also mentored others with. So the first thing is define 5 to 7 key roles in your life. And I learned this from Franklin Covey when I was a facilitator for them. And if you don't know them, they're probably the largest productivity training company in the world. And they said, look, set 5 to 7 roles and then set goals upon each of them. And, if you visualize at the moment, what you would do is basically just have a circle. You would put 0 in the middle, 10 on the outside, and you'd cut it into 5 to 7 pies, right? You know what I mean? Slices of a pie. And then what I want you to do is go through and rate and prioritize. So you've got your goals against each of these 7. So, for example, it might be for me, a dad, it might be around my sports, around my business, around my health, etc. So you come up with 5 to 7. There's no wrong or right on those. And then prioritize, because you can't do them all at once. Right, I can tell you that, I had to make a change. So when I was going through my transplant, I had to put health and family above my business and my finance. Now, yes, I didn't get to where I thought I'd be after 10 years from my business perspective, but as a rounded person, I achieved what I really wanted, which was, to thankfully get a transplant and also to build a new house for my family so they'd be all looked after by the time, or in case anything went. Right, so that's what I want you to do. So I want you to pick those 5 to 7 roles, the goals, and then prioritize which ones you're going to focus on, right? And that really gets you to make those decisions around prioritizing what's most important to you. Then pick a magazine. So it's any magazine that you think you should feature in. So it might be Forbes if you want to scale something really big. It might be Founder magazine, which Nathan Chan produces, a great Australian here. It might be something else that's specific to your industry. And what do you're going to be on the cover in 5 years. What do you want the cover to say about you, right? So you're projecting. A lot of people used to, I know at school we used to send a letter, send a letter that was 5 years as if, you send it now for 5 years in the future, that sort of concept. The other one that I highly recommend is doing a daily reflection. So I just read it's in a Google Doc, and what it's got is my purpose in life, my mission statement, my values, my bucket list, so what I want to achieve, and I can also see what I've achieved, which is fantastic, my business vision, and my life learning. So I put that all into a document. And if you want to get that, just reach out to me. But, there's some of the ways that you can help figure out what the end in mind is for you. And if you're going to take a break, I recommend that, it's a great exercise you do, whether you are taking a couple of days off, whether you're, going out, just getting out of home now, which has become the new office, just escape and do that. So finally, why is it important? So if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Can you remember what movie that's out of? Yes, it's out of Wizard of Oz. And I think it's so true here. And often we can get so caught up in the day-to-day that we don't realize. Also, building a business to sell or exit is very different to one that you're going to run yourself. So you're going to make different decisions. And also, if you are going to get someone in to run the business for you, you'll need a succession plan. So what does that succession plan look like? Also, the level of debt, whether it be personal or financed corporately or through other means, what are you going to need to really build it to be what you want the end of mind to be? And also, it's really important to align your intentions with your actions. No use working 70, 80-hour weeks if your intention is to have a lifestyle business. The other way around, if you really do want to scale and exit the business like we do, you might have to make some other decisions around those roles to get there. So 3 key actions I want you to take from today. One is take some time to determine your end in mind. And like I said, just, get out of your current environment. The second is once you've done that, align it with the people who are really important to you. So I did it as a family because to me, it was my wife and my 2 children that I thought was the most important people. So I did that. And the third thing is seek help in achieving your end goal. So based on your end goal, then pick a mentor right for that. So I picked the wrong mentor, as I said previously, because he was really good at building, startups to scale, but I wasn't a startup. I didn't want to have a massive exit. So I picked the wrong person. So for you, align it to your what's the end in mind. You can get all the links in the show notes at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast, episode 356, or in the app that you're listening to now. I recommend the Pocket Cast app. No affiliate fee, it's just a great app. Please follow me on LinkedIn. It's where I put out all my valuable content. If you know someone interested in defining their end in mind, please share this with them. Please take action to live a life with no limits.
I'm fired up after today's episode. What about you? But hey, before you go, learning is just one piece of the puzzle. Now it's time to put today's strategy into action. Head over now to today's show page at paulhigginsmentoring.com/podcast and share how you'll put it into action. Be sure to head over to your favorite podcast platform and subscribe, rate, and review the show. Tell me what your favorite episode is. And don't wait 1 minute more to gain access to your pulse check at paulhigginsmentoring.com. This could be the difference between struggling to get more leads and making this next quarter your best one yet.